Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Like example, this is our particular case type. Like what recently, like a study day before study, we saw about assistance request, case type. What does assistant request case type do? Assistant request case type will help you in order to find like what are the customer there. Suppose the customers are riding his vehicle in a highway, and if the vehicle is stopped due to some death, failure or some kind of an issues, immediately he will rise and compliant in our Pega developer. Like we will provide the service request to the particular people. If they are enrolled customer to our company. Now like what we'll do is like we'll open this particular assistance request. If you see here, the service will be the child case here. Like we need to link this service case type to here. Like basically what is mean by child case is like it is also in case type only. Under case type, like we have two case type. Here, what we need to do is like we need to take this as a parent case and this one we need to configure as a child case. Why we are configuring this as a child case means like whenever customer logs into this particular assistance request application and customer will rises and compliant, such as he will say like he is. Battery is been drained out. Like his car has been stopped in mid of some place. Like please provide service. Like that he will ask us. Like our agency. Like this agency will check like he's an enrolled customer or not. If he's enrolled customer means then we will assign some appropriate service provider team. After assigning service provider team, like we will be providing the resolution. Like after providing resolution, like we need to provide them. Like what are the service charges happen? Like what is that total cost? Everything we need to do it right. Those things like we have it in another case type. Understood right? In this case type we have only customer will log in and system will validate whether he's enrolled or not. When he is enrolled, he will assign service provider and after that we will resolve that. In between, we need before resolution, we need to send receipt to customer right. We need some details. What are the services has been done and like? What is the quantity and what is the service cost of all the things? In order to do that, like we have those details in another case type called as a service case type. Like what we need to do is like we to use this service case type as some child to this parent case type. Once this child case type is completed, then only he can make a next action. My question is like, why would child is like if we put the services in a service case type? Like we can do that with the child parent as well. You can do that. But the child case, why we are making here? It is like this particular configuration, selected services. This kind of configuration, it will be not used only for assistant request. It can be used for some other case type in future also. You need to merge this case to type. Like now only we have assistant request case type. Like we can use add one step and we can include service step like as per whatever you are saying. But like only like if you want to use again the same service case type in some other case type, You cannot do that. Because in order to make that kind of way, like we will create a separate where if there is a necessity, like in future also, you can reuse. If you think in that way, you can create separately and then you can use it as some child user. Then how to use services here? Assistant request. That one like I will show you know how we will. Now we don't have any kind of an service case type or any links to service case type here. Now when we run this case type, like all what it will be doing, like a customer will fill and then it will go validate and we'll provide service team. And then like it will go to resolution. Before resolution stage, you need to call that service case type. Here you need to call the service case type that once the service provider has been assigned, that service case type will come into play and then it will provide a like what are the different kind of details, like what are that service cost, happen everything, it will be filled. Then after completing that, only it will go. Till that particular case type completes, this case will be not completed. Because like a child is, that is why we are calling a child. Like a child will be parent will be dependent on this particular child every time. When the without completing the child, like it won't complete, parent won't complete. It won't leave the child and it will go. It will take care of child completely and then only it will go. I understand. Now like what we will do slick, we will see how we can add new kind of fun things in the particular new kind of case type. Here like what we will do is like we will click on add new process. Like just like what I'm doing is like just in this stage only I need to add another process. That process will have like service case type. In this add process, new process is there, just we will click on this new process. Here like what we'll do is like we can enter like what is the new service process, like example, like why we are using this. We are using for creating and service case. Like I'm just entering the process named great service case. Now like what I will do is like I will delete this step. And I will add a new step. Here like what we'll do, we'll click on more and like we will select automations. Under that automations, like we have an option. We have an automations which is called create case. Like just we will click on create case and then we will select. Here like what we will do is like we will make like create service case. And then like we'll delete this. Now like what we did is like we added a new process in the service stage. After service provider has been assigned, like that service will be taken care. Like after done, like we here, we need to call our like newly our service case type, whichever we created. Now like what we'll do is like we'll just click on this, and then right hand side and right panel configuration will be open, and it will be asking, see like what case it need to be created. Like we have only two case type. One is assistant request and another thing is like service. Now since we have two, one is displaying, now we have 10 case. That means it will display 10 things. You can make like whatever child you wanted to consider, then you can select the done and then you can make it. One thing is like why showing assistant request, it is a parent. Sorry. It is showing an assistant request. It is like a parent. Correct? Like it will show all the case type. Like just we have used like create a case only. Since we are using and create a case, it will show all the case types available. After this configuration only, we need to make sure like whether this will be a child or parent like that. We only need to define that one. We understood. Like since this utility is only for creating a case, it can be as of now. It doesn't know that the assistant request only we are using that one. System doesn't know. It display all the things. Based upon that, like we will select the right one, and after that, like we will configure what kind of configuration we need. We can configure. For that, I am just selecting a service case type, and if you see here, like you can create multiple cases using a list of transform information. In your case, these things are done. We have known it. Just like you can delete it. One thing is like service assistant request and one is select. What is select? Select. This is like nothing but a drop down default folder, like without doing, like if you are saving, it won't allow you. Like it's just an option, like where default option to select it. Understood. Like if there is a drop down, means you need to intimate the customer, right? Like whether you need to select or not, like that in order to have the default values of that, like we have like this particular service option. That's why we create like parent child. If we want to use anywhere, that time it shows the option. Create no cell. We don't need to create any services if you have already that. See the same. Because assistant request you will use assistant request hasn't saved for another parent case also. We are displaying everything. We take like everything as a services. From the domain as parent option. We need to decide which is parent and which is server. Correct. Now we have added a new process and we have used the service case type as a link here in the access. Now like what it will do, like whenever this particular case type assistant request ran, like when it comes to this particular step, after assigning service provider, it will have all the service case details. Now like what we need to do is like we need to have some kind of a service. This is a service case. Is there, right? That particular case that we need to go and we need to make few configuration changes to show that that is a child case. Because see, like service case, if you are using means, you need not to separately. Customer cannot run this service case. They should not run this service case. Like only is associated with the assistant request. Like it need to be considered as whenever this assistant request ran in that part of this, only the service request need to be run. Service case type. Suppose like customer, like he need not to see like example, I know what it will be. Should do is like. Now create and case type is there. Now if I just click on preview, like when I click on create, I have an option to create two things. One is assistant request service. Whereas this service is there right when it will come. Once us assigned the service provider has been assigned and then they made and service only they will be need to show this one. Till that, like user need not to see the service case type at all. We need to see assistant request inside, assistant request only, assistant request inside, like only that. Only automatically service case type need to be moved up. Like because it is not an individual thing, because services alone it cannot be run individually. Like what we'll do is like we'll make some configurations and things where we will remove this service from this create and then like we can see we can only use this assistant request for case creation. Now like what I'm going to do is like I'm just going to click on the service case type. First thing I will go to the settings. And I should not make this particular service case type to be shown to that. What is it to be shown to the particular customers? For that, like what I'm doing, like under general sections, like we have like availability. If you see here availability, like what I'm doing is like I'm just unchecking this particular showing new menu. What it will now show is like it won't show in that particular new menu. Whenever you click on create case, it won't show like this service case type. Like why we are doing is like no customer without knowledge, any customer should not click on directly that particular case. It is a child case which is associated with assistant request only. Now like we'll just save it. Now like what we'll do is like we'll just preview and we'll see. Still like it is showing this service case type it showing why? Because the service case type it like it has been not done, like it is not being proper, like we need to log off and then we need to log in. Then now like what we'll do is like we'll see. Now if you see service has been removed, only assistant request is there. Now like only assistant request will be created and like under that only like a service case type will be run. That is obviously service case type will be like which doesn't have like individual capacity to run on its own. Like that, it will be consideration the particular child case. Now like we'll try to create an assistant request and we'll see how it works. One thing is like every time we need to check that availability like. Yes, same here. What availability? Like availability uncheck that we do right now. Not every time once. If you do, it will be saving only. Like after that, you need not to do everything. In normal, this is cloud instance. It will work in different way here. But in normal Pega, like in whichever you are using in application only one time. If you're making means, it will be impacted to all the people who are using. No one can see that service case type again in their creation. It will be running only as essentially. Just like here, what I will do is I will create a dead battery something and then I will be on this case. I'm going to add one in this case. Just like it has been validated and it is in service stage and it is approval. And we have service provider. And now it is in a new summary. Now what we'll do is we will know at one this case. If you see here, just to be once this and then we'll go there. Now if you see automatically what it came, S1 has been created. Our main parent case type is A1. In order to differentiate between parent and child, you have S1. Here, we have to do this particular S1. Whenever you click on this particular S1, we will be having all the details, whatever we configure in the child case. If you see we have child case being created, just we can click whatever we want. And then we will just go there and then we will click on submit and automatically this case also will be completed. It has been completed. Here if you see under actions, here you can see two things. One is S1 and A1. Just like S1, if you click A1, if you click move, that will be the parent case. Here you will not see anything. This is parent case, right? Here you won't see anything. But various child case, when you click on S1, which A1 has came because the child is dependent on parent. Because of that one. Now, if you see it's completely completed, you don't have any other options. It has been completed as well. Completed. We have some attachment and you got recipient. Everything we got as per our configuration. Any doubts? This is one of the way where you can differentiate that parent and child case relationship and then you can make all those necessary changes. The next thing is duplicate case search. What is mean by duplicate case search is suppose same customer will be logging in 2 to 3 times and he will be raising the same request again and again. Again, what we need to do is we know not to do again and again same kind of service. We need not to provide. We need not to assign some service team and all. For that, what we can do is we can ignore other duplicates like whatever he requests, and like we can check only one thing, like what is the unique hiding. Based upon that, like your future, like he cannot. Same customer raises for 10 cases. Also, he cannot do it. That is mean by duplicate search. Understood. You understood right like a scenario. What is mean by duplicate search? Repeatable. Can you say one more time? Actually, like there will be a customer who will be raising same complaint for the same car, same model and same issue. If you see here, the issue is like tire and the same Tata make, and where Tiago is in model and same customer. All the things are same, and he is creating like two types of request. Like here, if we need not to process two cases, why? Because we know like clearly one case is like duplicate, like without knowing or without his knowledge something he created two times. We need not assign separate team for two kind of cases. We need to assign only one type of customer, only one service provider. Like we need to decide like other as in duplicate. For that one, like we have an option in Pega where we can make that as an duplicate identification. That is mean by duplicate search case type. In this, our application in the Go road, like what we wanted to do is, like we wanted to ensure like only one assistant request case is processed for each request. Like this, that assistant request case type. Here, like what we wanted to do is, like we wanted to make sure like only one case is being processed. Like the same customer, like same model, same make of the vehicle, same, everything same, mean then we need to determine that as a duplicate. That like we will make sure like if the same customer submits multiple requests for the same vehicle and like we will identify them as a duplicate, that it will be knowing like that is an duplicate request and we need not to perform all other steps. We need not to make sure like the service team is assigned. We need not to provide service case, everything we need not to provide. For that, like what I'm going to do is like in this first stage, only I'm going to add the duplicate step. Like if in the first stage, if we add means like here only we are having identify vehicle. Here we will determine like we will get the customer information and we will get that the vehicle model make everything and we will make sure like if all the things are same, like two, we are creating two cases, all the case details are same, then we will determine honest and duplicate. Like for that, like what we are doing is like we are going to click on add and then click on create, and here what we'll do is like we'll add like new process. Like if you see, like we got an option to add a new process here. Like what we are going to do is like we'll keep some title as like a resolve duplicate cases. In this create of two, like what we are going to do is like we are going to click on add here. We are going to click on step and we are going to have some automations. Automations and then like here, like we have like such duplicate cases option, just as like we'll select this one and then just we will click on select. Now like what we'll do is like we'll delete this option. Like now like what we did is like in the first stage only, Like we have added another process, which is like duplicate cases. Why we have added like that means in first stage only, we need to identify whether it is like original request or duplicate request. And if it is duplicate means like we will not perform all these remaining 3 states. We will just terminate the case. Like we'll say, like that is duplicate case, like that will make it. This duplicate case you will be seeing in multiple scenarios. Suppose you made in some kind of a request and same kind of a request, if you are making again, means it will say like already this request exists, like that you will be getting in some information, those kind of an identification, only it is duplicate search. One question is, like if it came to this point, such duplicate case, if it is duplicate, then how to terminate that case? Like is it that we need to add another stage and we need to make sure like whether it is duplicate, like that we need to determine. We need to another step, we need to add, and then we need to determine like this is duplicated, like we are closing this case, like that we will be having some message. We need to give them as a termination like last one process. Like directly, what it will do is like we will jump to last stage, which is like termination, like last final thing. Those things like I will show and do you. Now, like here, if you see, like we want this particular duplicate before this payment information, only, we will determine like whether that is like resolve duplicate cases, whether duplicate or original cases. Once it is original, then like we will go for payment step payment information and then we will validate it and we will assign some service provider. If it is not a duplicate case, then if it is a duplicate case, then we will try to resolve it completely. Now, like what we will do, like we will make some kind of duplicate cases, logic, how we will determine the case is duplicate. We need to make sure like any kind of a particular conditions, we need to add like example, here vehicle is there and location is there and customer information, all the things are same. Then we will make that as a duplicate case. Like for that, like what we need to do, like here we have basic conditions and the weighted condition. Here we will add all the conditions like customer name, like vehicle location, vehicle name, everything, and like we will have some weighted conditions here. Example, like first I am adding the basic condition here. Basic condition is like it should every 100% if it is matches. Only then we will think this might be a duplicate case. Like that we will meet. The system will be thinking after that weighted condition, we have another option. Like that option, what it will do is like it will determine. Like if the basic conditions itself became true, like after that, like we will make some weight for each property based upon that. Like we will just make sure, like what is the particular thing, like that. I will explain in Notepad once and you will have better understanding. In theory, I will implement in Miss You. Like now, like identify like we have like customer 1. Like what he is doing is like customer 1 he is from. Hi, he is from like let's take Gajiboli and he is using Honda Amaze and he requested for tire replacement. The same customer is logging in and everything is giving the same details. Same details, everything is giving and everything. Here, like what we need to make sure. We need to make sure like some one condition is like basic condition. Like here, like we will make like location as in basic. Basic condition is like location. Basic condition as location and name. this two basic condition, it is becoming true. Second time, when the customer logs in, we will identify the customer name and we will identify the location. For the second customer also, if the location is Gajiboli and like it if is in customer name is Samjak means, then like it is all matching with the first customer name. We will make. System will think like basic condition has been satisfied. It might be duplicate. Like the system will be thinking when it thinks like that, immediately like what we need to do is like we will need to make some weighted condition, because without only basic condition we cannot determine this duplicate, because same customer will be having two different cars. One is Honda Amaze, another one is like Kandai Vana he would be having. Like in that particular case, like totally different kind of request only, right? We need not to make sure like only with basic condition. We need not to make that particular scenario. In order to avoid that, like what we will do is like we will add weighted condition. Basic condition is like basically it is and we will system will think it is duplicate. And after comparing weighted condition, only it will determine like it is 100 duplicate or not. In this weighted condition, we will keep like for make of a car like 20%, like 30%. We will keep and model of the car will keep like 50%. And then like we will keep other issues like issues as 20%. Now like what will happen? Like first customer is logging in and is from same location Gekaboli and his name is same only customer 1. Now what it happened? Basic condition became true. Look location and name the customer. Second time the customer when is logging in, the name and the location is same only. Now system what it will think, it will be duplicate. It might be duplicate like the system will think, but it is not duplicate as of now because he didn't fill that car and model name. Now like what he is doing is like he is filling the car name as like Honda and he is filling the city and he is doing like tire replacement. Same thing tire replacement is doing, but it is not. But now it is not duplicate. Like how? Now what it will match is like, now the weighted condition will come here. Now like a second customer, like what it is same, only like first customer. Now the score is 30. Because that is Honda right 30. But amazed first customer is amazed. Second customer is city. The for 50 will not be added. Same issue. 20 will be added. Like plus 20 will be added. Finally, like what will be? Your final value is like 50-50. Now like we will have one condition threshold. Condition threshold is like maximum condition, like in which if it is extend, only will determine it doesn't duplicate. Suppose we are keeping like threshold as like 40. Well, if we are keeping like there, shoulder 60, this is that minimum value. If that threshold is 16, if it is greater than 60, only then like it will be considered as a duplicate. If it is lesser than 60, it won't be considered as a duplicate. Actually, one condition is like that. If we give weighted condition as well and we are giving per studies as well there, then I don't think. There is made of threshold because it is 100% match, then it is duplicate and not 100% match, and all like just to threshold is like minimum percentage which is limited. Remain it as a duplicate. 100% means like total all the column. Only like if it is false means it will be false, right? But it is like identical copy of the one. Identical copy means 100%, it is the duplicate. But like if there is like some other things also means like we need to make sure like that only, like we threshold, we can keep it anywhere, anytime. 100 also we can keep it. Like a 90 also, we can give it 60 also, we can keep it normally. No, now make is 30 and issues 20 because both the case I have the same issues. Like it is not greater than 60. Like it is like lesser than 50 only. Like what we will do is like where the threshold value is not been exceeded by the weighted condition, we will determine like it is not unduplicate. Threshold is nothing but the weighted can adjust. And condition like in which you need to make sure. Like if the condition X is more than this means, then it is like duplicate. If it is not excitement, then it is not an identity, and for duplication we need to give that great group. It is a like basic and weighted condition. We need to view this to us and mandatory. Basic condition is like initial 6. If initial 6 is true, then it will come to a 2 condition. Then we don't need to run the second loop. If it is not in first one, right? Like example location is something like in Bangalore and name is some different people, means basic condition itself fails. Why we need to come for a weighted condition? Totally near is different. Obviously same car, same issue. If you use me, totally different location. It is not in duplicate. Mostly we use this kind of condition will save the time. Like save the timeline. The faster will execute basic. If it is satisfies, only then it will go to weighted. There also wait, it will check all the things and it will. We have threshold value. If it exceeds the threshold value only, we will make it as a duplicate. This is the duplicate case, such concept. Like we will try to implement here. Like now, what we are going to make is like we are going to click on add basic condition. Here it is asking like what is the main condition to make it as an duplicate. Like here, like what we'll do is like we are here. We can add like what kind of an property we want. We can add first like what we'll do is like we'll add like some vehicle information, the vehicle information data less. Here like what we can do is like we can make, it doesn't make when potential duplicate make. Like here, like what we are doing is like vehicle information make when it is same. Then like what we'll do is like it, there it need to be same. It need to be same with the conquers. Like what we are doing is like we will add like few other things also here, make model, layer, color, all the 4 things we'll have. You make, we have model here and then like we'll add like color. In this our condition, like our logic, we are adding like this, are these 4 things as like basic condition. If this 4 becomes same, then only like we will come for better condition. If it is all, If this is itself false means, then like we will not come to a better condition. Like make model your car example, first customer, like second customer types. And make model your color. All that these four things are same with the first customer, then like it might be duplicates, is we will think and then we'll go for better condition. If this is stuff, anything is false means, then just like we'll ignore the better condition. Just time click on. Now, like what we did, like we added basic condition. Now like we will add like weighted condition. Weighted condition, like what we'll do is like we can add some default lightweight minimum threshold. This is like threshold weight. Like it is asking like what is the minimum weight in order to determine it is a duplicate or not. Just I'm having 50 and in this weighted logic we can make our condition. Here like what we'll do is like individual like I explained in the notepad. For make that the model for tissues to be like that. Is there no same thing? Like we'll give it indifferently. Here like what we'll use like we'll give 25 now like we'll identify the location which is city. Like a customer has been raised, we'll check that way. Definition in the service at this data relationship. We are going to select it as some city. Here like what we can do, like we can make the current case value. Here like what we can use like another value, another fee, and here like we can add the same thing. Actually here why we are doing this. Current case is like we need to select what the city, whatever the customer selected in that particular previous case, need to match it with the current case, city. In order to do that, like we will add like the field whatever we are using them. You got it right, got it. But a potential duplicate is equal to current case, same. Potential duplicate, whatever you put here. No, we need to select the same thing in current case, correct, same thing. Only we need to determine why because there's a potential duplicate city will taken from previous case, unlike current case. It will taken from your current case city. It both the things it will match. In order to do that, like current case property and previous case property, whatever you wanted to make, you need to add it here. Now, like what I will do is like we'll add like another same thing. Like we'll add like some other things also. Like we learn like city, state and street. The three things we'll add. Here we learn like another 25 service address state. We have added here. We need to add the same state here as well. Like I am clicking in another. Actually, whatever, selecting it's a lot. Option that already forwarded a bigger. This one, no, this one, like now, it has been provided by Pega, but in real time, we need to create data model for service address. We need to create like that. We need to get and we need to add it here. But it is already created right now. Now it is created. Normally we never application real time. we need to create a data model. Like we discussed in previous session, sites like we need to create those same thing. You need to do it, but actually it's like Pega systems that we are using. It is already created. Correct. Since this is in Pega Systems Cloud, it is already created. Because one time we create it again and again if same thing. If you are doing means time will be consuming more, right? Now like a 25, then we will do it as in street. Before the session, we can take a recap review of what we'll do and recap completely. This is very important topic you need to understand. Till you understand, I will explain you. Actually, I'm understanding, but that is like it will shows the what are the step we are done until show street. Just like we'll click on submit and then like what we will do is like now we'll click on save. If you see here like what we have just added one kind of an process. In this process, like we have added and duplicate cases from automation and there like it has been asked two choices for us. One is like basic and another is like weighted. Basic condition like 1 minute will be used like all them like what are the properties fields you are here checking. If it is true, only then will system will think is like it might be duplicate like that everything. And then like we'll check that particular weighted conditions. Weighted conditions like we'll have like more than one condition and we'll make sure like we'll give some percentage weighted percentage. We'll keep some threshold value. If the threshold value exceeds, then this particular weighted conditions means then we'll determine it as an duplicated. Now in basic conditions, we gave the make model here and color. If all these things are true, then it will come to a greater condition. In this weighted condition also, it will check for city, state. If city and state are only equal, but street is different means, then it will say like it is not like duplicate like that, it will skip that. If all the three things are same, only then it will determine doesn't duplicate. Just like I will save and run the Alma Wonder, we'll see our execution. Now like what? I'm going to be slick. I am this particular person is being locked out of the gas and inside and then actually we are not taking this thing in our duplicates. It's like I issue our customer information. We are taking location and vehicle only. Like here, like what I'm doing is like I'm typing some J Mitchell. I'm selecting here if you see. Now like what we'll do is like we'll check first is an area for duplicate. Now, like what I'm going to do is like I'm going to make some kind of an same name JP Street. Like a B street name is a B city is like Hydra, but everything in small only in doing. And then like a state, I'm giving like a piece. Now after doing this like make, I'm giving like on the Amaze colorless black model. Here is 2020. Now I am creating, but actually we are not put that condition as mandatory. Start point we are not put it. If you need, we can put that as well. Now like we went to payment information, like before this, only we created duplicate search. Since this is the first case we are creating, it is not a duplicate, just like I submitted it. Now one case has been created. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another case with the same details. Here, I will keep this different. Here, I will keep a dead battery and I will click on continue. Like what we did there. अभी ये T side Robert B. Now weighted condition has been matched here because these three things we gave us a weighted condition, cities, the estate, like it is now weighted condition. We gave us 50 but now it is 100. Now we will give like tempting Honda Amaze Black 2020. Now when we create this one. Now if you see here it came like this is in duplicate case. It has been matching. Current case was I didn't pair a duplicate of the following like with the year to case. It has been matching like it is duplicate, like that. What you want to do, like that it will be displaying like this, like what we can do is we can. If you want to close this as in duplicate, we can do it. Like we can process and duplicate. Like with which case? Here two cases matching. Previous case created a state. Now we do means it will be terminated as duplicate, dissolve, duplicate. Like that it will be terminated. It won't be doing any other changes. That's it. It won't complete all these stages. It will be terminated. Like one thing is we created is one case ID a 1, a 2 if we want to. That was the multiple data. How actually it will we need to do manually. Multiple data means which one you're saying. If we have hundreds of records automatically, better we can take care. Just that basic a beta condition you give, like I will take you in lakhs of cases. Is there also a first case you if you created and 1,000 the case you are creating? Same ID. Then also it to determine it is a duplicate with the first case like that. But actually we need to put the cover manually. Where you are saying no only one time, we are not putting anything manually one time. If you're putting means it is for a complete case step every time, like lakhs of cases also, then also it will be doing understood. But here, developer, we are creating this system and they will do that more like putting it in all this thing. This is not over like this. See this result duplicate. I had one screen pop up, right? Those things user will not see automatically. We will make duplicate only will not. May ask the customer, this is duplicate or you want to continue like that and I'll be not, as that also can be asked to the customer. Suppose he might be forgetting some other things. Normally, you might be seen in various application, right? Same thing, if you are entering again, means it will say already this exists, please enter different one, that it will be asking right in different applications. Same scenario only. Here what we did is we added and process after this particular stage, and in this process we have added one automation which is called duplicate circuses. And then here it has we got two kind of an important parameters, basic and weighted condition. Basic condition we add make model year color, all are same. When all are same, then it need to check weighted condition. all are same, and then it will be checking like city, street and state based upon that, like we have weighted condition. Suppose it might be all the same, like make, model year, color. All will be same and city state also will be same. But street, if it is different, then it is not a duplicate. We should not block them. For that only, we have added 50. That like city is 25, state is 25, and like we have like street is also 25. In that way, like it will be determined. This is what like the particular duplicate case search means. Any, you understood that it is very important topic. Click on data model like, and it does data model. Here we have like all the service providers, everything. Like in the similar way in our real time, we need to create all the data model. Actually, what kind of data model we need to create? Is it provided by like? Is it how we know that? What kind of data model we need to create? Is it mentioned in that project? Main project. That was project. They will mention. Product on a business unless will be there. They will say like create one data model, and in the data model you have 5 fields. Past state, cities. Everything you need to have it like that. They will say. Immediately you will create here. That's it. Yes, they don't know. Technically means they will say like they want like 5 fields. Service address. They want 5 fields like that. They will say like a city state zipper, and they want service address. They don't know technically. They don't know what is meant by data model, or they don't know what is meant by a case type. Nothing. They need not to know why, because they are business people. What your LSA will do is like, he will say like for this scenario, we will create one data model. In the data model will give all these properties like that. He will say those things they will mention in the story. Then like you will need to develop all this. Because like business people, they don't know technically. They will say like, simply I need one address. In that address I need state, cities to drop down everything. But in real time, like as and develop, people like LSA will come into, and they will say like, we will create data model and we'll do this, and we'll actually like the teams. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.